Do any of you have dogs?
Yeah.
Wow, lots of you have dogs. Oh, I'm sorry. Any other animals? What other animals do you have?
A fish.
What did you have?
A fish.
A fish.
And mine died.
And what do you have?
I have one. I don't know.
Oh, what do you have?
We used to have like hamsters and hedgehogs, but one went under like the cage first and then suffocated.
Oh, my Lord. Okay, let's move on to happier things.
From Hollywood, it's Jimmy Kimmel Live. Tonight, Billy Crystal and music from local natives. And now, Jimmy Kimmel!
It's Giving Tuesday. Did you know it's Giving Tuesday, Guillermo?
Yes, Jimmy, I knew.
You know why they do Giving Tuesday?
Oh, no, I don't know why.
It is, it's been around since 2012. The idea is after you spend a disgusting amount of money on your kids and on Black Friday and Cyber Monday, you feel so guilty you make a donation to try to avoid going to hell, I guess. And if I go to hell, I'm definitely going in a handbasket because I want to be like, hey, look at this. Here's a question. Which takes precedence, Giving Tuesday or Taco Tuesday? Or maybe a taco maybe is the greatest gift of all. I don't know. In Canada right now, there's a nationwide shortage of maple syrup. For real. And it's a big thing. To put it in perspective, it's like if we ran out of Monster Energy drink here in the United States. The shortage is so severe, they had to tap into their emergency syrup supply. They really have I love that they have this. They have a heavily fortified and very sticky warehouse in Quebec. They withdrew 50 million pounds of syrup from their strategic maple reserves. Back in 2011, a group of thieves stole 6,000 barrels of the emergency syrup, so they had to put in all these security measures, which is a great idea for a heist movie, by the way, starring all fat action stars. Wouldn't that be something? And while this would seem to be their problem, you know who the biggest consumer of syrup is us. We buy 60% of Canadian syrup. They make 73% of syrup in the world. We buy 60% of it. It's like they opened a donut shop next to a Jenny Craig. They know we can't resist, and they... Another bad news, the CDC is recommending that every American adult get a COVID booster shot now that this Omicron variant is on the loose. President Biden said Omicron is a cause for concern, not a cause for panic, which is fine, but I feel like the only cause for panic for Joe Biden is when the 5 and dime runs out of malted milk balls or something. The CEO of Moderna, who knows about this sort of thing, said he's spoken to scientists who told him the variant is, quote, not going to be good. It's kind of like when the trailer for the movie Cats came out, the only thing we knew was, well, it's not going to be good, but we didn't know the extent of how not good it would be. If you've been watching Fox News, you know that the real enemy isn't the virus or the do-my-own-research geniuses who refuse to get the vaccine. The real enemy is Dr. Fauci.
So it's easy to criticize, but they're really criticizing science. Because I represent science.
The man now believes he's a deity accountable to no one.
Dr. Fauci says he is the all-powerful Oz, and we shouldn't question him.
That's a very grandiose statement on his part.
L'État, c'est moi. I am the state. It is this delusion of grandeur.
Tony Fauci has morphed into an even shorter version of Benito Mussolini.
This is what people say to me, that he doesn't represent science to them. He represents Joseph Mengele, Dr. Joseph Mengele, the Nazi doctor who did experiments on Jews during the Second World War and in the concentration camps.
It looks like Lara Logan has been eating Tide Pods again. That is just so outrageous, Joseph Mengele. Let me tell you, screwball, something about Dr. Fauci, because I've had enough of this, and he's too nice to say this himself. This man has been working on behalf of the public. That's us for more than 50 years. He served under 6 presidents, starting with Reagan, President Bush, President Clinton, another President Bush, Obama, Trump, and now Biden. Republicans and Democrats. To suggest that his politics have anything to do with his work or what he recommends It's ridiculous, and it's a lie, and he doesn't deserve it. He didn't ask for this. He's not a politician. He's a doctor. His interest is in protecting us from disease. Remember AIDS and Ebola and the Zika virus? He worked on all of those things, and thank God there's someone who's educated enough and devoted enough to figure this stuff out for us, because we are not going to figure it out ourselves. And what are the thanks he gets? He gets scumbags like Ted Cruz, like Rand Paul, like that vile, inflatable Macy's parade balloon of dog Tucker Carlson, making up lies to take him down. And they do it, the reason they do it is so they can keep terrifying old people, which is basically what they do for a living. They scare senior citizens in order to get ratings and money and votes. But to do that, they need villains. To scare grandma, they need fresh villains. So they zero in on this tiny, adorable, tired man who's done nothing but good for the world. Dr. Fauci's probably done more good for the world than all of us in this room combined. I mean, is Malala here? Because I don't know, maybe not, but that doesn't matter to them. They see him as a character in this real-world WrestleMania they've cooked up. They make him a heel, which is a bad guy, and they make stuff up about him. They insinuate that he helped develop the virus in China. He's part of the deep state. He does cruel experiments on puppies. They will say anything to tear him down. They'd say he invented mosquitoes if people were dumb enough to believe it. And guess what? People are dumb enough to believe it. They're attacking this friendly man from Brooklyn with a family. He graduated first in his class at Cornell. He's an American. President Bush gave him the Medal of Freedom. Even Trump says he liked him. He doesn't say that about his own children, okay? The idea that anyone would be angry because he says he represents science. He's a scientist. That's like being angry that a manicurist says she represents nails. He is a brilliant public servant who these monsters now threaten and accuse and slander and put in real danger with these disgusting lies. These nut jobs who follow them are threatening him. A man who's trying to keep us alive is getting death threats. Can you imagine that? Ted Cruz says he should be prosecuted. For what? I have no idea. Ted Cruz should be prosecuted for illegally using a ferret as a beard. And I laugh. Here's the thing. When Dr. Jonas Salk helped cure polio, nobody accused him of eating babies. He didn't need an armed security detail because there wasn't a gang of uneducated morons threatening to ship him off to Guantanamo Bay. Everyone was rooting for Jonas Salk. Every family in this country was mailing dimes to the White House to help out. People keep saying you want to make America great again. Wouldn't getting a handle on this be one of those great American moments from the 50s we're so nostalgic for? We are lucky to have Dr. Fauci. And if you people drive him away because he decides he's had enough, which he would be totally justified in doing, guess what? We're replacing him with Dr. Dre. And I'm going to tell you something. If you threaten him, that's not going to work out well for you at all. The other candidate for Nitwit of the Week is this Congressworm named Lauren Boebert. This video is from a fundraiser back in September. CNN dug it up. Here you will see a member of Congress taking shots at another member of Congress who committed the horrible crime of being Muslim.
And in that elevator, we were joined by Ilhan Omar. Well, it was just us three in there, and I looked over and I said, well, look at there, it's the Jihad Squad. Dropping and running, so we're good. So you have Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib. These are just black-hearted, evil women who want to destroy America.
That is the worst maid of honor speech I've ever heard, probably is. The good news is, the encouraging news is her Republican colleagues rushed to publicly condemn those remarks today. That was a joke. They said nothing. But happy holidays, everyone. Guillermo, are you doing anything for with the elf on the shelf for Benji? Are you doing that this year?
Yeah, we're gonna start tomorrow.
Tomorrow, okay.
Yes.
We started last night, begrudgingly. If you don't know the elf on the shelf, it's Santa sends an army of miniature demons to spy on and rat out your kids. It should be called Narc in the Dark. Not only is it weird, And it's super weird, and it's having the opposite effect on our son, who's now doing bad things just to get the attention from the elf on the shelf. But it's a huge pain in the ass. You forget it all the time. We put up the tree last night. We're kind of hoping the kids would forget about the elf this year, but sure enough, son came up, so did our daughter. She's like, where is the elf? And we're like, oh, no. I had to distract her while my wife found it and hung it from the chandelier. And then my daughter leaves this note for Santa on the elf's head. She can't touch the elf. She places it on the elf. And there's a female elf that we forgot about. We left her in the box. But so Jane wrote, Dear Santa, can you please tell my elf to bring his sister warmly, Jane? She's signing her cards warmly, like she's Savannah Guthrie or something. And anyway, Elf on the Shelf is very popular, but when it comes to spying on us, the elf has got a lot of competition. In fact, one little fella in particular is running circles around him right now.
Elf on the Shelf can only see so much. That's why this season, no secret is safe.
They're mittens from Macy's. They cost $12.99 and they're one size too small.
Oh.
Introducing Zuck on a Truck. With the power of Facebook's massive database, your personal Mark Zuckerberg knows absolutely everything.
Also, your mom is having an affair.
Mom, what's an affair?
Zuck on a Truck can tell if you've been naughty or nice. He knows every website you've ever visited, every place you've ever lived, every friend you've ever made, every love you've ever lost, every schoolmate you've stalked. Zuck on a Truck even knows when you'll die.
63.
What?
And he has a working horn.
Cool.
So be careful, all you naughty kids.
It's not my place to judge what's right and wrong.
Or don't. Because Zuck on a Truck takes no responsibility for your dangerous misbehavior. Quite the contrary. Zuck on a Truck will use his Yuletide algorithm to connect all the naughty children in your neighborhood.
Santa's list is red! Storm the tree! Get out of here! Go!
It's a decoration insurrection with Zuck on a Truck, which for legal reasons has now been rebranded as
Meta on a Jetta.
In the grocery aisle next to the Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce.
Available at Walgreens.
Thanks for watching. If you liked that video, click the subscribe button. And if you didn't like it, well, you hurt my feelings.